NFL football is back. Thank God. Hi everyone, my name is Gio and thanks for joining me for my 6th year of taking the man's money. I've been studying football literally every day since the Super Bowl. Isn't that right, honey?
I hate your stupid football.
Yeah, she loves spending the money. So without any further ado, it's showtime. The first game we're going to look at has the Kansas City Chiefs going to Houston, where the Texans are 1-point favorites at home. Defensively, the Texans are led by all-universe defensive end J.J. Watt, and they do get Jadeveon Clowney back. They were number 7 in points allowed. Kansas City, meanwhile, gets safety Eric Berry back, and he's the leader defensively on that team. This is a guy who beat cancer. He's going to give an emotional lift to the Kansas City defense, who are actually number 2 in points allowed. Offensively, it's no competition. Arian Foster is gone at running back for Houston. They let their all-time wide receiving leader, Andre Johnson, go last year, and the quarterback is Brian Hoyer, scrub of scrubs. Kansas City has Alex Smith as their quarterback, who will finally get some help at wide receiver as they brought in Jeremy Maclin. Their tight end, Kelsey, is very good. And, of course, they've got Jamal running the ball. This is no competition. I think Kansas City routs Houston, and you get the points. So let's take Kansas City +1. The second game we're going to look at has the Cleveland Browns going to New York, where the Jets are 3-point favorites at home. I look at the Cleveland Browns offense, and I see maybe the worst offense I've seen in years, starting at quarterback led by Josh McCown, a guy, the quarterback they picked up off the Tampa Bay scrap heap from last year. I don't know who their running back is or who their wide receivers are. Their only offensive weapon from last year, the tight end Cameron, has been dealt away. Meanwhile, the Jets have one of the best defenses in the league from last year, and they added Darrelle Revis at corner. I don't know if the Jets will even give up any points to the Browns, and all New York will have to do is score a field goal and a safety to cover this game. So let's lay the points, and let's take the New York Jets -3. The third game we're going to look at has the New Orleans Saints going to Arizona, where the Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites at home. You know, the Saints aren't very good on the road to begin with, and they traded away their number 1 offensive weapon, tight end Jimmy Graham, from last year. Arizona, meanwhile, a very good team, probably would have challenged for the NFC Championship had Carson Palmer not got hurt. He is healthy for this game. You know, the only game that they lost with Palmer as their quarterback was in Denver last year, and the only game they lost at home was against Seattle, and that was without Palmer. This should be a no-brainer. It's a very small price to pay, so let's lay the points, and let's take Arizona -2.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at is the one I've been looking for all year. My Minnesota Vikings go to San Francisco. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Wow, a month ago we were 3-point dogs, but things have changed. Something like 10 of 11 of the San Francisco defenders from the Super Bowl a couple of years ago are either in jail or in old age homes. So that means the scrubs are going to have to go against touchdown Teddy Bridgewater in his second year, possibly the best young quarterback in the NFL. Minnesota has also added Mike Wallace for a deep threat. Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, was injured most of the year. He's healthy. And of course, there's that Adrian Peterson guy that only played 1 game last year. That was week 1 in St. Louis, a better defense than what San Francisco has. This should be a very easy win for my Minnesota Vikings here. You're only giving up 2.5 points, so let's take Minnesota -2.5. Here are my 4 over-under plays. The first game we're going to look at has the Kansas City Chiefs going to Houston, a game we talked about earlier. That number is 40.5. 2 very good defenses, but Houston's offense has been gutted. So let's take under the 40.5. Second game we'll look at is another game I talked about. Cleveland goes to the New York Jets. A very low number, 39.5. This might be a shutout. Look for a 16-0 or maybe a 19-3 game. So let's take under the 39.5. The New York Giants are at Dallas. That number's 51. Both of these teams could put up points, and both of these teams' secondaries are riddled with injuries. This should be a game something like 40-something to 40-something. So let's take over the 51. And the fourth game is that Monday nighter with Minnesota going to San Francisco, a game we talked about earlier. That number is 41.5. I look for Minnesota to put 30 points on the scrub defenders for San Francisco, and my Vikings defense isn't quite there yet. Look for San Francisco to at least score 20. So let's take over the 41.5. Here are my straight-up picks for this week. I'll leave them beside my big fat head. We'll talk about some of the games that could go the other way. You know, there's usually 5 or 6 upsets in week 1. Not all the favorites win. Obviously, I talked about Kansas City beating Houston. I like that game a lot. It's one of my favorite picks in the last couple of years. Indianapolis is at Buffalo. The Colts can certainly throw the ball. Buffalo's secondary isn't bad. Their front seven is one of the best in the league. Indy can't stop the run. Buffalo runs the ball really well. I'm going to take Buffalo in an upset there. Another upset is Seattle at St. Louis. It's a division game where the home team is the dog. That's the best upset possibility you can take in any NFL game. You know, the Rams aren't afraid of St. Louis. They beat them 4 of their last 5 times in St. Louis, and Cam Chancellor's not there for the safety in the secondary, and they're banged up. They've lost a couple of guys over the years. It's not the same Legion of Boom from the last couple of years, so look for an upset in that game. I like Detroit to upset the San Diego Chargers. I was going to take that as one of my ATS picks. It's just that I have a hard time getting San Diego right, so take this one with a bit of a grain of salt, but I do like Detroit to beat San Diego. Another one I like is the New York Giants to beat Dallas. Both teams have lousy secondaries. This might come down to the very last play of the game. And you know what? Things can happen. Dallas doesn't play it well at home. They actually have a better road record than they do at home since Jerry World opened. So let's take the Giants in an upset. And one of the Monday nighters has Philadelphia going to Atlanta. A new coach for Atlanta. Philadelphia has made a lot of changes, you know. Chip Kelly's made so many different moves. I don't know if they're going to gel the first couple of weeks. Maybe I'll be betting on them a lot more in October and November. But for now, I'm going to take Atlanta with a new coach at home with an upset. And those are my straight-up picks. Good luck. Here's my Let's Take the Man's parlay play. We're going to take 5 games. We're going to parlay them. Here they are. We're going to take Carolina straight up because I'm greedy. We'll take the New York Jets -3. We'll take Kansas City +1. The Minnesota Vikings -2.5. And we're going to take the over 51 on the New York Giants Dallas game. A $25 bet will get you $507.25. Good luck. Okay, and those are my week 1 picks for the 2015 NFL season. Good luck to you. I hope you can join us on our NFL YouTube Prognosticators Facebook page. You can join in on the conversation and catch what the best prognosticators on YouTube have to say in real time. I'll leave the link below. All right, for the Geo Knows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.